Hi guys, this is George back here with another vlog, and today I'm here at Drayton Manor for my first visit in 2025. Looking forward to getting back into the park today, seeing everything that's changed. The park is celebrating a very special anniversary this year. The park is turning 75 years old this year, so to celebrate they've got a museum going through all the park's history. There's also a film playing in the 4D cinema talking all about the history of the park, which I'm looking forward to seeing. And as well as that, it is also fireworks today. They're doing fireworks every month to celebrate the park's 75th anniversary, and today is one of those days. Oh my God. Something flying right in front of my face. Yeah, today's one of those days with fireworks. The park's open till 9 o'clock. It's just gone 2 o'clock that I've got here, so still got about 7 hours in the park. Looking forward to getting back on lots of rides as well and seeing all of the updates. I think this is the first time I've actually seen this entrance since they did the whole rebrand, because normally when I get because this is the first time I've driven here, normally I get dropped off here, whether it's like just get dropped off and then I head in the entrance by the Vikings area. So I think this might be the first time I've seen this entrance. I don't remember seeing it since they did the rebrand with the new logo and everything. And yeah, it looks really good. So I'm looking forward to getting into the park and seeing everything that's new. So I started my visit with a ride on Maelstrom. I only waited about 10 minutes for it, if that, which was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it seems like it's not too busy here. It seems like there's a lot of people walking around, but around Adventure Cove, look at some of the queues. It doesn't seem too busy, which is fantastic. Hopefully I'll get on lots of rides. It's a brilliant ride, Maelstrom. My favourite ride here at the park. And what's really exciting is that Blackpool Pleasure Beach next year are going to be opening a bigger version of Maelstrom, and I can't wait to ride that. It's going to swing up to 138 feet tall, and I can't wait to ride it. I've heard that these rides are absolutely insane, so I'm really looking forward to getting one in the UK. I haven't been on one before, but yeah, it's going to be called a Victas, and I can't wait to ride it. It's going to be fantastic. So now I'm going to go for a ride on the Wave, the sit-down coaster here that used to be known as Shockwave. It opened in 1994 as a Intamin stand-up coaster, and then last year it was converted into a sit-down coaster. There's a new train on there from Art Engineering with lap bars, so let's go for a ride. So I've bailed on the Wave because maybe I spoke a bit too soon about the queue lines not being that bad. Then again, that one only has one train, so that probably isn't helping. That queue is easily at least an hour. Yeah, it could really do with having a second train being put on there. It's only had one train since it got converted into a sit-down coaster. It really needs a second train on there because the queues get absolutely massive with that ride. Like, that queue is easily at least an hour there. On a busy day, that will get like between an hour and a 2-hour queue. It gets really busy because of that one train. And from what I saw earlier as well, I saw a train go around with 2 rows empty, so my guess is that there's 2 rows on that train out of action, which is going to be reducing the throughput even more, so I dread to think how long that queue's going to be. So I'm making my way over to Frontier Falls now, and I was just passing by Pirate Adventure, and I wanted to mention this because there have been a lot of rumours that this ride is going to be making a return here at this park, possibly next year, which is really exciting. It's only speculation at the moment, however, it is sounding like this ride may be coming back at some point in the near future, which is really exciting. This was a boat ride here at the park. I never got to experience it, but I heard great things about it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing if this does make a grand return, because this pirate area here really could do with a revamp. It's a bit of a dead zone in the park compared to a lot of the other areas. So I'm now here at the Drayton Manor Museum, of course, the main attraction here celebrating 75 years of the park. I'm looking forward to going in here and seeing the history of this park. Here we go, so here's a look at some of the props for Excalibur, which was a boat ride that used to be on the lake just in front of the castle, that they now tend to use during Halloween and Christmas. There you go. There's a plaque up about the ride. Yeah, again, never got to experience this one. My first visit to the park was in 2017. Here we go, 1950. You got a photo of the park there. Look at some of the rides on there. Like it's like a carnival, isn't it? The direction of this park has changed so much over 75 years. And here's a look at part of the old stand-up train for Shockwave. You can actually stand here and have a photo. with the background just there. You got all these different posters up on the wall. We'll go and take a closer look at those. Oh, look at all these maps as well. I didn't even notice that on the way in. Here we go. Here we go. Here's a map from 1995. Got Shockwave on there. Is that the Klondike Gold? That might be the Klondike Gold Mine on there. Just looks so different how it does now. And then here's one of the old gondolas from the cable car. Here we go, we've got to look at the parachute drop towers there. 1990, Pirate Adventure. And then of course in 2000 the park opened Apocalypse, their Intamin drop tower, which was removed a couple years ago unfortunately. It was an incredible ride. I loved it so much, but yeah, it has left the park now unfortunately. 2010 on here. And then you've got Accelerator on there. When this first opened it was originally Ben 10, before it got changed to Accelerator. And then into the 2020s now, where you got Vikings up there, that opened in 2022, and of course Gold Rush, that opened in 2024. And here we go, let's head in to the next part. In fact, let's have a look at some of these maps first. When's this from? There you go, you can see Apocalypse on there. There you go, the triangles, that's where Vikings is now. Of course Frontier Falls is all down here. Adventure Cove all here, that used to be Action Park. There's not even a Thomas Land over here, like Pirates Cove, no Thomas Land. And then you've got the zoo all up here as well. Here we go, this is going far back into the history of the park now. Drayton Manor Estate, 1949. There's Drayton Manor, 1900. Look at this. George and Vera Bryant's Memory of a Family Fun Park. There you go, there's a look at the founders of Drayton Manor, a bit of information about them. Of course this is no longer a family owned park, it's owned by the Looping Group now. And it's changed so much for the better over the years. Drayton Manor Family Galloper, manufactured 1898. Got all these boards up here about the Drayton Manor Zoo. Modernising Drayton Manor Family Park. Here we go, here's some concepts for Pirate Adventure when this first opened. UK's largest indoor water ride opened at Drayton Manor Park. 1990 to 2016. There's a look at some of the original marketing for it. You've got these screens up as well. It could do being a bit louder with the audio on the coming from the screens. Where everything is one long screen. There you go, there's all Action Park, there's Klondike Gold Mine, Shockwave. There's another coaster there as well. It's a thriller minute. Here you go, Famous Faces. And here's a look at some of the boards for the Haunting, the Vekoma Madhouse. There's a look at some of the original costumes they used to wear. Here we go. Oh, I can see some stuff from Apocalypse in here. Here we go. Here we go. Here's an old Shockwave restraint. Look at all these different ride parts, all the wheels here. Old Shockwave ride restriction boards, celebrating 21 years of operation for Shockwave, 1994 to 2015. Of course, that now operates as the Wave. And then we got different boards up from Apocalypse. Here's a look at that. And then you come in here to watch the film. So there we go, I've just come out of the museum there, which was really good, of course, going around seeing all the different ride parts and information about the park. And then of course you watch a little 20-minute documentary as well in what's normally the 4D cinema, which was really good, talking about the vision of the park back in 1950, and then of course how it expanded, especially in the 1990s, where it expanded with rides such as Storm Force 10, The Haunting, Shockwave. And then of course going into 2000 where I opened Apocalypse, and then of course once the park was taken over by the Looping Group back in 2020 and had all of its new investments, a much more different vision, a much more a vision that was much more fitting with the original vision with this park. It started off with the original owners, George and Vera, wanting it to be a very family friendly park. Then of course in the 1990s it went in more of a thrill focused direction with thrill rides. Investment, and then back in 2020 when the Looping Group took over, it went back to a very family-friendly park. And since the Looping Group took over, they've added 7 different rides into the park, although I think it's actually 6 because I think they're counting the reopening as the Rapids as one, which doesn't count because it was here before that, and it was standing but not operating for a few years. But yeah, of course the main attraction out of those is Gold Rush, the Intamin family coaster just behind me that has 2 different settings. I was going to go for a ride on it, however it looks like it's just gone down, so I've been sitting around here for about 10 minutes and a train hasn't gone round, so I'm going to assume it's gone down, and instead I'm going to go for a ride on The Haunting. So I've just had my ride on The Haunting, which was pretty good. Of course, you've got a couple of different pre-shows in there, and then you get onto the Vekoma Madhouse itself, which is pretty good. It's about a 10-minute experience overall. The ride itself, like when you go into the pre-shows, it's really good, like talking to you about the story and building up the atmosphere. Then you get onto the ride. The room itself is really well themed. However, I don't really like the soundtrack in there. I say soundtrack, it's pretty much just people laughing. It's barely even music. It's a bit like the Smiler soundtrack, however, even less of a tune with it. It's pretty much just people laughing without like barely even like a tune or music to it. So I'd like to see more music in there. Of course, that you used to have the original. You had the original story when it first opened. Then it went to more of a family-friendly story when they introduced like Dr. Ghostman and a new soundtrack. And the soundtrack with that version was much better. But then they brought it back to its original theme a couple years ago with there's a much more darker story. But yeah, the changes with the soundtrack in there, I wish they had kept the old soundtrack, or at least maybe made a new soundtrack for it, because it was definitely better with the soundtrack the way it was before. However, I do prefer the story as it is now. It's a lot more kind of immersive, like immersing you in this spooky vicarage. So now it's time for a ride on Gold Rush, the park's Intamin family lift and launch coaster that opened last year. Looking forward to getting back on here. And of course you've got the gravestone just there as well for Apocalypse. They used to stand right there, and of course was replaced by Gold Rush last year. So I've just had a ride on Gold Rush, which was really good. Of course, it's on setting 2 with it being past 2 o'clock. I wonder if are they going to keep it at that setting for the rest of the day, or if they're going to do like random settings as it gets later, because normally the park will have a standard opening of 10 till 5. So normally they'll have it like 10 till 2 on setting 1 and then 2 till 5 on setting 2. So I wonder, like, are they going to keep it at setting 2 from 2 o'clock all the way to 9 o'clock? Or are they going to do like random? If I was there, I might be doing it random, like maybe past 5 o'clock to make it random, because that adds to the excitement of it, makes it really re-rideable. It's a great ride, and the fact that it has 2 settings is really cool. It makes it for a very unique ride. You get some nice views on there, it's lovely and smooth. It's a great family coaster, and it's pretty punchy as well in some sections. The launches are fairly punchy for a family coaster. There's some sections where it feels quite whippy, where it's throwing you around a little bit. It's a really enjoyable ride. It is only on one train though, which is a shame. So obviously there's some kind of problem going on with the other one. But yeah, it's a shame that they couldn't get on 2 trains for today. We'd have been pretty busy here today. So I've just done a couple of rides in the Vikings themed area. I went on Jormungandr, the Zamperla powered coaster, which was good fun. It was good to see them refurbish that into Jormungandr. Of course, it used to be known as the Buffalo, and then in 2022, when Vikings opened, it was renamed to Jormungandr. It opened in 1987 originally as the Buffalo, and a lot of people have very fond memories of it. So it was good to see the park looking after one of their classic coasters. And I also went on Loki in there as well, the Zamperla Nebulas, which is a really good fun ride. A bit like a magic carpet, but you're spinning whilst on there as well. You get some nice views over the area, some good pops of airtime on there as well. It's got a little bit of force to it. It's a really good fun ride. It is only running on half capacity though, unfortunately, so that's not great. It's already a pretty low capacity ride, so when they then half the capacity of what it already is, then yeah, the queue does move pretty slowly. Here's a look at the queue times then. So yeah, it's pretty busy here today. 65 minutes for Gold Rush, 50 for the Wave, 30 for Maelstrom. Pretty busy here today. It's a shame that a few rides seem to be running on quite low capacity. So I've done a few rides since that last clip. You just saw a last clip of Accelerator. I went on there. That's a fantastic family coaster. One of the best Vekoma Junior boomerang coasters I've been on. It's definitely my favourite out of the like family boomerangs we have in the UK. I'd definitely take over Minifigure Speedway. And then in terms of the layout, I do think it's better than Velociraptor at Paultons Park as well. Obviously Velociraptor has the better theming, but in terms of the layout on its own, that is definitely my favourite one. I then went on the Polperro Express, which is really nice, the train ride that takes you around Adventure Cove. I went on Maelstrom again, and I also went on Air Race as well, which is really good. Nice and intense ride on there, decent cycle on there as well. I went to go for a ride on the Wave, but it's just gone down, so hopefully that'll be back up soon, because I've done most of the main attractions around this part of the park now. Of course, you have got Thomasland, where there's lots of rides in there. However, that tends to get pretty busy, so I might try and avoid the queues in there. However, yeah, I might wander around, maybe go on Gold Rush again if it's not too busy. So the Wave was only down for about 15 minutes there, which is really good. So I went on it. I went into the queue, and it was at the last bit of the steps going up into the station. And oh my God, the amount of faffing that goes on that ride with operating it. I don't understand it. Like, they take ages to fill up the bays, and then you just sit in the seat for a while whilst the staff have a bit of a chat. Then they eventually decide to pull the lap bars down. Like, we could have easily got into the train and straight away pulled our own lap bars down, and then they could have come round to check it. That saved me a couple minutes there. But no, still more faffing, just standing about having a chat while we're just sat there waiting. Then eventually the restraints come down, and then they spend ages checking it again. Like, I mean, the fact that it has one train, you would think that they would want to get it out quickly and make a bit of an effort to make sure the train's getting sent out quickly. It's like with Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington. It might only have one train, but the staff are always making sure they're doing everything they can to make sure that that train is getting sent out as quickly as possible. Whereas on there, none of that at all. So much faffing. And then, but my main big issue, I mean, the coaster itself is fine. Like, the fact that it has lap bars is really nice, but it would be nicer if it had any other kind of lap bars. It started off really nice and loose, which is what you want, but then throughout the ride, it tightens so much, and especially if you're tall on there, they hurt. Like, those lap bars are so uncomfortable. I thought it wasn't going to be too bad at first with it being nice and loose, and I was like, oh, do you know what, maybe I've misjudged this in the past. But do you know what, it came down really tight right to the bottom of the first drop, and the rest of the ride, it hurt a lot. The inversions are really good on that, however, it's just the lap bars are so uncomfortable. I really don't like them, but do you know what, I'm glad I got on it, and yeah, hopefully we will see a second train come on there, because there's too much faffing going on and the queue moves so slowly. Here we go then, so the fireworks are just about to begin, and I'll put in some highlights of the display. So I put in a little bit of footage from the fireworks. Now, I didn't put in loads because it was quite difficult to see some of them, because of course it is still very bright out. However, yeah, that was a really good display. If it was dark, of course it would have been a lot better. However, it was quite funny seeing fireworks when it's this bright. It's just not something you normally see, is it? It's pretty rare to see fireworks when it's this light outside, but of course that's just something that we can't really help. We're in July, the evenings are much lighter now. So yeah, of course, if they wanted to do fireworks in the dark, they'd have to be open much later. It doesn't tend to get dark till like 10, half 10 at the moment, so yeah, no fireworks in the dark at the moment, so I'll definitely be back at some point throughout the year to come and watch the display in the dark. I might come back in October to come and watch the display there, because I'll be at uni by then, and when I'm at uni I'm not going to be too far away from this park, so there's going to be very frequent visits to Drayton Manor once I'm at university, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I'll probably come for October's display to come and see that in the dark, and then I'll definitely be here for Halloween as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that here at this park. But yeah, it's been a good day here at the park. Some of the operations haven't been great, with some Gold Rush on one train, low-key on half capacity. Some operations haven't been great, especially on the Wave. But you know what, I've got on lots of rides and it's been really good fun. It's been nice to see the museum as well, of course, celebrating 75 years of the park, which is fantastic. Really nice to see that they are putting their history on display and celebrating their history, rather than doing what a lot of parks tend to do and just hiding it away, which is not something they should be doing. I love it when parks show off their history, and you can go in there and read all the information, see all the different photos that they've taken over the years, and see how the park's changed. So yeah, it's been really nice, really good day. But that's now the end of this vlog here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly, and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.